If there is one important word that you will hear over and over throughout your entire life as a foreigner in Spain, it's the NIE. In this video, we'll explain exactly what the NIE is, the differences between NIE and TIE, what it's actually used for, and the step-by-step process to obtain it. Let's get started. Hi everyone, how are you? I'm Marta Casarramona, immigration lawyer at Balcells Group, and in today's video we'll reveal all the key information about the NIE in Spain, so you can finally understand what is it, stop confusing it with the TIE, and learn clearly how to obtain one. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We upload videos like this every week, covering everything you need to know before moving to Spain, as well as once you're already living here. Now yes, let's dive in. What is exactly the NIE? First of all, it's important to clarify that NIE stands for Foreigner Identification Number, and it's very important to distinguish this NIE from the TIE. Many people confuse both terms and believe that simply having a NIE automatically gives them a work permit or a residence permit. Well, that is not the case. The NIE number is simply a number that identifies the foreigner for all procedures they can carry out with the Spanish public administration. But just by having a foreigner identification number, this person does not automatically get the right to work or reside in Spain. Therefore, the NIE is just that number, a number that will identify the person in Spain for any procedure. But this number does not imply that the person has either work or residence rights. It's very important to understand this. Although the NIE itself does not allow someone to live in Spain, it is one of the essential requirements for foreigners when they arrive in Spain in order to start any procedure, such as a bank account, signing a rental contract, buying a property, or even setting up a company. Therefore, requesting a NIE is absolutely mandatory, whether the person is an EU citizen or a non-EU citizen. So, what's the TIE? The TIE is the Foreigner Identification Card. Once someone becomes regularized and obtains a residency card, that physical card will include a printed NIE number. This TIE, the physical plastic card, will show the NIE number that will accompany the foreigner and throughout their entire life in Spain, until they eventually obtain Spanish nationality. How do you obtain the NIE? There are two ways of obtaining the NIE. One option is obtaining the NIE as a non-resident. The second option is applying for a residency application, and then the immigration office will assign you an NIE number as a resident. For example, in our firm, we have many clients from China, the United States, or Mexico who come to Spain but do not intend to live here in the long term. They simply come to buy a property or set up a company. In these cases, the first step is to obtain this NIE. So, how do you obtain the NIE in these cases? Let's look at the 4 requirements to obtain the non-resident NIE. First one, you must get an appointment at the national police station in the city where you are. Keep in mind that the possible delays in getting an appointment is something common in large cities like Barcelona or Madrid. If you need to carry out any procedure that requires a NIE, planning ahead is key. Second, you must fill out the application form. Third requirement, you need to pay the corresponding fee, approximately 10 euros. And fourth, and perhaps the most important, you must clearly state the reason why you're requesting this NIE at the police station. They normally just accept 2 main reasons: purchasing a property or setting up a company in Spain. The only way to prove that the person is genuinely going to buy a property or setting up a company in Spain is to go to a Spanish notary and obtain a notarized statement or acta de manifestaciones. If the foreigner does not make this notarized statement or does not fall under one of these 2 categories, the police will probably not assign an NIE number. The person has 2 options to obtain this non-resident NIE. They can either apply in person at the national police, or they can grant power of attorney to someone else, for example to our firm, so that this representative can apply on their behalf. Very important. Whether you go in person or through a representative, the police always check that the person has not overstayed the 90 days tourist limit in Spain. They do this by reviewing all the stamps in your passport. If the person has been irregular in Spain, the police cannot assign an NIE number. How long does it take to obtain the NIE? One of the most frequent questions of our clients is how long will take this NIE number. The only real difficulty is getting the appointment at the national police station. The rest is very quick. Once the appointment is obtained, on the same day at the police station, they will assign the NIE number and give you the official documents with this number included. Does the NIE expire? Does it have a duration? Once you obtain the NIE number, in this case as a non-resident, you do not need to worry about its validity. Once you obtain the NIE number, it's valid forever. For example, if someone requested a non-resident NIE 5 years ago and 5 years later applies for a residency permit, that residency permit will include the same NIE number. It will not change. Therefore, it is permanent and That's all the essential information regarding obtaining the NIE in Spain. If you would like us to help with your residency or NIE application, feel free to contact us at the email address below. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video.